Nope, I gotta criticize.
There might be a lot of mouth breathing in this episode.
Yeah, that's okay.
Sorry about it.
Yeah.
Alright,
Shelby, you want to go ahead and get started?
sure.
Okay.
Welcome, you're listening to The Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive. I'm Shelby.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Shannon. Hannah's dying. She's sick.
I'm dead. I'm allergic to the state of New York. It's trying to kill me actively.
Might have bronchitis.
Ain't
It's
nobody got
fine.
time for that.
I feel like at the least you have like some kind of a sinus infection or something.
It's right now. It's just an upper respiratory infection.
Either way.
Oh my god.
It's not COVID, though.
No, it's not COVID.
According to the rapid test, it's not COVID. They will tell me tomorrow if with the for real test if it's COVID, but I don't think it is.
I don't think
Yeah.
it's COVID.
Well,
Because if I'm anything like my sister, I would have lost my sense of taste and smell, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm drinking a delicious iced coffee right now.
because that's what you need. Caffeine.
Why are you drinking water? That's just gonna
I'll drink water
dehydrate
later.
you. Okay.
Give a fuck.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Does anybody have any announcements real quick? I know we just did this 2 days ago, but
My
You never know.
announcement is that I am currently dyeing my hair, so I
like
haven't-
actively right now.
Well, the dye is already on my hair. I'm just letting it sit while we do this.
Gotcha.
What color?
Black.
Oh,
Yeah. Because when I move, I'm not going to have, like, someone that I trust to do my hair, so it's easier to just have it back to my natural color. So, yeah, no.
Yeah. I need to find somewhere to cut my hair when I get back from Florida.
Yeah.
oh, I had my hair cut for the first time since last July.
Dang.
Recently.
That's good.
Yeah, it was very nice, very
mean,
refreshing.
Yeah,
I'm a whole new person.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I got mine cut back in like September. And then I was just trimming my bangs until I decided to grow them out, so. But I need to go get everything trimmed.
Have been impulsively cutting my own hair shorter and shorter, and then
Uh-huh.
going to my hair person and being like, look what I did, please fix it. But it's fine. I am now dyeing it back to my natural color and then growing it out for a little bit because I need to let it heal because it is not curling correctly anymore.
Yeah, it's
That's what
probably a
happens
little
when you
mad.
bleach your hair too many times.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, so I am currently sitting with hair dye on my hair and then a shower cap on top of that, so my head is very hot.
Yeah.
Because my headphones are then over on top of the hair cap, so...
Yeah, I'm just sitting here with no AC again, and it already has risen 4 degrees in the
That's
20 minutes or so since I turned off the air conditioning.
Disgusting.
Yep.
So, we're gonna get onto the topic then.
Please, because I would like to go back to bed.
Yeah. Hannah's already here, but there is a PowerPoint in the episode 55 folder.
Cool. I just
Oh,
completely forgot to even look. Yay!
I just made that folder like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, that's why.
Okay, so today we are going to be talking about black-eyed children.
Yay!
Yes, because they're very spooky.
That sounded sarcastic, but I was like, I really mean it. I'm excited.
I was going to
Didn't
say,
you-
Hannah's the one who requested
Yeah.
it, so.
I know. That yay was supposed to like go up 2 octaves, but that's not possible.
That's not physically possible for me right now.
She's dying. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yay.
But yeah. So, we're going to be talking about black-eyed children today. I will preface this with, I hope we have tangents, or it'll just be a shorter episode, mainly
Either
because there's not a ton of information on black-eyed children
Yeah.
because they're not a cryptid or like a whatever, but it's a lot of just like first-hand accounts. There's no like overall information on this like
Yeah.
creature or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of me like reading people's like personal stories. And so
Yeah.
Well, I already have a tangent for that first picture that you have up there, so.
I love that. Yes. Okay. And then, ooh, I made that way too small. So my sources are, it was like, wow, what university is this? I don't know. PSU, it's a university. It is their, like, website.
It's Penn State. I just clicked on it.
Thank you. Okay. That's what I thought, but then I was like, no, I'm going to be wrong. And it's on their, like, urban legends information site, whatever. And then it has, like, a section for black-eyed children. I assume it was, like, a student's thing, but...
Wait, if it's Penn State, that's the university that, what was that show called?
Was it
oh my God.
Paranormal State? Is that
Paranormal State. Yes.
Yeah, that was out of Penn State.
It was run out of Penn State.
Okay.
That was such a good show.
Cool. But yeah, I didn't look into why they had information on their university website. I was just like, okay, sounds right. Let's go with this educational. It's a real... Haunted. Yeah. Shockingly, I did not get anything from Wikipedia.
I think that's the first time we've ever not had Wikipedia.
I know, it's weird. I don't.
Is there not a Wikipedia page, or was there? Just
there is. Helpful? I just didn't take. I mean, it didn't have like personal stories. There's not much on it, so
interesting.
I like read it, but it wasn't anything I took information from.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then there's. Well, it's from like an archive site, but it's like a news article by Brian Bethel, and he like recounts his tale, and so I have that one, and then a post from Huffington Post. So,
all right,
those are my sources.
Okay.
I don't know why I got real hick there, but okay. All right, if you want to go to slide 3. I am not drunk, I promise.
Okay. Here's my tangent. I think this is a still from a movie that I saw back in the day. I was probably in like 3rd grade. But the premise of the...
It looks like a still from a movie.
Yeah, the premise of the movie is that this whole town, every woman who like has her period, that includes like 13-year-olds, they all get pregnant at the same day, like on the same day. Ew. And then this whole generation of like weird blonde children is born. And they're like they're like aliens or like half aliens. And anyway, I've like always been super freaked out by that idea that like one day our entire town was just gonna be pregnant. So that was like a major anxiety.
I'm sorry, but if that happened, like... Was no one curious as to how everyone got pregnant?
Well, like, they were all the women it happened to were like, we saw this light, and like it was like a comforting light or whatever, and they're like, it's fine, we're all keeping the babies, and it's like, but some of you are 12, like,
yeah,
what the fuck?
I don't like that.
I don't like that. Were they all like, oh, we're all having the next Jesus?
It was very strange. I only remember that beginning part. I don't think I watched the rest of it, because then, of course, the alien children were, like, evil and did, like, bad shit.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure.
And my mom was like, we're turning this off. I was like, why are we still watching it to begin with?
Yeah, because there is a movie called, like, Black-Eyed Children or Black-Eyed Kids or something like that, so.
Well, I don't know if it was...
I don't know if it's that movie.
To give them all black eyes, but those are the blonde kids. The blonde alien children from that movie.
Gross. Don't like that.
Because it was fucking weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now I want to watch it.
I'm gonna find out what that's called.
Yes. Okay. But yeah, so it's just a picture of a bunch of like eerily blonde children with black eyes, but
you can still see like their irises. It's really creepy. They didn't fully black out their eyes.
Yeah.
It's creepy. I don't like it.
Yeah. It's like when they put, like, the blood drops in people's eyes and they're just, like, red, but you could still see the, like, pupil and iris and everything. I don't like it.
Don't like it.
So it's just, like, the whites of their eyes are black.
Yeah.
Gross.
But then their irises are still super dark, but I don't like it either way.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
Okay, I was wrong, but the movie's called Village of the Damned.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of
It's
that.
a 1995 movie. There was like a blackout, and then 10 women are mysteriously pregnant, including a virgin girl as well as a married woman who has not been sexually active for a year. None of the women seek abortions after having dreams, and all the babies are born the same night in a barn. I don't fucking know why. 5 boys and 5 girls, though one girl is stillborn. Blah blah blah. They all have super pale skin, and white blonde hair, cobalt eyes, and fierce intellect. Anyway, they're fucking creepy, and apparently Mark Hamill's in this movie.
Oh.
What?
And
All
Christopher Reeve.
All right.
Okay.
So there's like a lot of big names in this.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley's in it.
What?
Yeah.
What is this movie?
Anyway, 1995, Village of the Damned. It's very
I've heard
strange.
that. Like, I've heard of the name. I just haven't.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Weird. Okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway. Okay, so black-eyed children are like paranormal creatures that look like children, obviously. And they're usually around the ages of like 6 to 16. They generally have super pale skin and pitch black eyes that are completely soulless.
Gross.
At least according to like reports from people who have seen them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's generally that they just look like regular children, usually on the younger side. Even the like teenage ones are usually like 12, 13 type thing. They're usually not like super old. And then, yeah, they're always like super pale, like albino pale, and then black eyes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people claim that these children have existed since the 1980s. However, most sources say that the legend actually originated in 1996. And that's because the original, like, if you trace it back, like, the earliest, like, written account that can be found of it is from a reporter from Texas named Brian Bethel. And that was, like, in my sources, that, like, news article that he wrote. Mm-hmm. So Bethel wrote 2 accounts of his alleged encounters with the black-eyed children.
Okay.
And basically, one of those encounters was his own, and then one was from, like, someone else, essentially. So he said that he encountered 2 children in Abilene, Texas, with pale skin and black eyes, and that someone he knew had a similar experience in Portland, Oregon.
That's vague.
Which is not helpful.
No.
But, you know.
Don't worry about it. None of your business.
In, like, modern times, people still claim to see black-eyed children when they're driving late at night down an empty road or outside of their window late at night. Some people even claim... right. You know... It just reminds me of the things you see in cornfields. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, some people even claim that they've seen them, like, lurking in the shadows of their bedroom at night, and that just sounds like a sleep paralysis demon to me. Mm-hmm. 'Cause as far as I can gather, the black-eyed children are kind of like vampires in that they have to, like, be invited in. Mm-hmm. 'Cause a lot of the stories are that, like, they'll, like, ring the doorbell or knock on the door or something and basically just, like, ask to come into the house, and everyone who meets with them gets, like, super freaked out and blah, blah, blah. So I don't know. But there's nothing to say that that is true. Mm-hmm. But, you know. Anyway. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then, as far as their eyes go, it's that they're, like, solid black. There's no, so, like, in this picture, like, we were talking, you can see the iris and the pupil and everything. The people who see black-eyed children generally report, and yes, it's generally at night, but they also, usually report that there's no differentiation between the sclera, pupil, or iris. And so, like, their eyes are just, like, think of, like, the demons from Supernatural. They're just, like, pure black. And occasionally people will report that the skin on these children has, like, a bluish tint, like that of a corpse.
Ew.
Ugh.
Yes.
I didn't know that. I don't like that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm a super pale person, and when I haven't seen the sun, like, all winter, I have a bluish tint to me because I'm very, like, cool-toned. So, I don't know. I just look really sickly. So, I mean, it could just be something like that, too.
Got that hot girl summer consumptive look.
Yep. Basically, I go out in the sun enough in the summer so that I don't look half dead.
So you don't get rickets.
Basically. So I don't get scurvy.
Listen, that's not from the sun.
It's not from the sun.
I know.
We just have to bring up that you had scurvy. Like, we have to bring it up at every opportunity.
I told my dad that you got scurvy in college, and he was like, wait, someone got scurvy in, like, modern day? And I was like, yeah, my friend Hannah. And he was like, so, like, in the 2000s? And I was like, yes, Dad, in the 2000s, my friend got scurvy. And he was like, is that a real thing? And I was like, yes, Dad, that's real.
I found someone else on TikTok who also got scurvy in college.
Listen, college freshmen, if you are listening, which I'm sure you're not,
we got a few.
Eat a damn orange once in a while. Otherwise,
eat some vegetables,
your teeth will fall out of your head.
Drink some orange juice.
Literally, like, I have the worst diet on the planet, and I still manage to get enough vitamin C to not get scurvy. So, like, if I can do it, you can do it.
You don't even need a lot of it. Like,
literally, just like eat one little floret of broccoli. Okay.
Honestly, you can get those gummies that just have vitamin C in them. Just do that.
Yeah, that too.
It's candy. There you go.
Take a multivitamin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, but no, I do generally look like I'm, after the winter, I generally look like I'm, about to die of consumption.
That was the beauty ideal in Victorian era, so.
It was. It meant you were a cute poet, so.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't read the whole
to live in Victorian era, but probably not.
I haven't read the whole TB Wikipedia page or nothing. Don't worry about it.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, no, that's never happened. Totally didn't hyperfixate on that in, seventh grade.
Or, like, 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm only, like, the resident expert on Queen Victoria in the entire Victorian area. It's fine. Anyway, so a lot of people who report encounters with the children say that they felt that the children were somehow supernatural or extremely dangerous, but they have no explanation as to why they felt that way.
Sometimes you just have a gut feeling, and
right,
you just gotta go with it. Yeah.
Sometimes you should listen to the vibes.
Yeah.
Because they're usually right.
Yeah.
I just want to
speak from experience.
What's that word?
Sidebar?
Yeah, sidebar this really quick. Sorry. Oh my god. I'm dead.
She's dying. It's fine.
You
Give
literally
her a break.
sound like you're dying. You sound so out of breath.
I am out of breath. Don't make me laugh. I want to sidebar this really quick.
Okay.
To tell you that since the dawn of time, Lucy has said certain words wrong. And
yes,
Supernatural is one of them. And it's also just happens to be her favorite TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll be like, have you seen the new episode of Supernatural? Supernatural. Like C-H-E-L.
Yeah.
Supernatural.
Natural.
Supernatural. But she says it really fast. Supernatural.
That's funny.
Anyway, so every time you say supernatural, I think supernatural.
Oh my gosh. I love that. That's adorable. Yeah, so if you want to go to slide 4.
Gross.
Also, these are all just random, like, Google images of children with black eyes. I picked the ones that creeped me out the least.
Great.
So, but yeah, just enjoy this small boy staring into your soul with his soulless eyes.
Great.
Yes. So, okay. This is where I'm basically going to start just recounting, like, other people's stories. And I literally took them word for word from the articles because it was easier than trying to, like, take their firsthand account and then being like, let me put this in my own words.
Yeah, no.
Because it's, you know, regular people talking. Mm-hmm. So this first one is Brian Bethel, who is the... I guess, like, original, as far as anyone can really tell, the original person who ever, like, wrote down anything about seeing black-eyed children. Mm-hmm. So, this was his article that he wrote for the Abilene Times, maybe? I don't know. He wrote it for some news article. Doesn't matter. But yeah. Okay, so here we go. I'm sorry. I hate reading things. Anyway. Near as I can figure, this happened in 1996. I've managed to pin down the date that far. I feel like it happened in the spring or summer since I remember wearing a pair of shorts, but one of my great regrets is not recording the actual date of the event. After you hear the story, you'd think it would be something you'd never forget. But given enough time between, not the case. My memory, while good, isn't quite eidetic. I don't know why he felt the need to mention
Nobody has an eidetic memory.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
it's a plot point on Criminal Minds. Like,
right? Like, okay, dude. Anyway.
I have a question. Is he saying, like,
yes.
The best I can tell, this happened in 96. It happened to you. How do you not know what year it happened in? I'm confused.
Okay, but to be fair,
apparently
I don't know when anything happened to me ever.
I was going to say, Shannon, you don't have a memory of your childhood.
No, I know, but I still know vaguely what year shit happened.
Look, I don't know.
Especially something like this.
Maybe he was so freaked out.
That's what I'm...
Especially if it was like spring, summer. I feel like I'd remember that more, but...
Yeah, well, and you're in Texas. You can wear shorts year-round in Texas.
True.
Not if you're a Texan, because they think they have seasons.
Yeah. I don't know. Just the way... I don't know. Just the way that it's been worded so far is confusing me.
Look, he said you'd think you'd never forget it, but it's been long enough that I did forget it, even though he didn't write this that long after, but whatever. Okay, anyway. Okay. I had gone down to the former site of Camelot Communications, one of the area's original internet providers, to pay my bill. At the time, Camelot was located on North 1st Street, near the movie theater, in the shadow of what is now Chase, then Bank One. It's too much information, dude. Okay. I was using the light of the theater's marquee to write out my check. Why were you doing this in the middle of the night, sir? Clearly I did not read this thoroughly.
Why did he write out his check before he got there?
Look, I don't write my checks before I get there. I write it in my car.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Well, I mean, if you're dropping off a bill, why not just... Like, I get if you're, like depositing something or doing something at the bank. That's different. But if you're dropping off a bill...
Shannon, I literally wrote my water bill in the parking lot of the water department the other day.
Yeah, I do it all the time. So, that one I'm on his side. But, okay. Also, if it was summer and it was dark enough that you had to use the theater light, like, you're doing this at, like, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It's probably a Dropbox, everybody. Cool down. Let's go. Move on.
I'm not.
I'm just confused
anyway.
by the details, because he's giving too much detail, and it's just confusing me.
He's giving too much, but not enough. Okay?
Oh my god.
Anyway, maybe he went after work. Literally the next sentence. I was using the theater's light to write out my check, which I plan to put in Camelot's night drop slot.
There you go. Okay.
Okay. How about we read the whole damn thing first?
Nope, I gotta criticize. Anyway, so involved in my work, I never heard them approach. There was a knock on my driver's side window. 2 young boys, somewhere between 9 to 12 years old, and dressed in hooded pullovers, stood outside.
So a hoodie?
I cracked the... Yes.
Okay.
I thought you said a hooded polo, and I was like, can we please make sure that never becomes a thing?
That would be
What would
the
that even
ugliest
look
thing
like?
I've ever seen.
Does the
Right?
collar come
Is
out?
the collar a hood?
Yeah.
Well, no, does
Or
the collar,
is
like,
there a
sit around
hood
it like
outside
a
the
ring?
collar? Oh, I hate it. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. I cracked the window a bit, anticipating a spiel for money, but I was immediately gripped by an incomprehensible, soul-racking fear. I had no idea why. A conversation ensued between one boy, a somewhat suave, olive-skinned, curly-headed young man, and myself.
Did he just call a child
I
suave?
hate that.
Yeah, I would. That's you go to jail.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, I didn't think children could be suave, but okay.
Whew.
I have
Especially
never
not a
met a
12-year-old
child-
boy, but okay.
I've
Yeah.
never met a child that wasn't sticky in my entire life.
I mean, honestly.
Name one
Oh my god,
non-sticky
we had a kid.
There isn't one.
We had a kid at the store the other day who I was out at the kiosk so I could like see him through the window. He came up into the window and was sitting there like dragging his face down the window so that it was like pushing his lip up and just like dragging his spit down the window.
Ew.
Control your children, America.
Seriously.
This is why we're all sick.
Yep. I was just like, okay, cool, awesome. Let me just go get some Windex real fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, so children are disgusting. They are not suave.
No.
Oh, we also had a kid yesterday yell fuck you at his mom
Great.
Oh, that's nice.
because his friend bought him something that his mom told him he couldn't have. So, and that child was like definitely like 12, 13, like way too old.
Mm-hmm.
And his mom just laughed at him because she thought it was cute and funny. That's not cute and funny. That's disrespectful. Okay. Anyway.
Makes me upset. That poor mother.
Yep. Anyway, so this somewhat suave, olive-skinned, curly-headed young man
Jail. Go to
Anyway.
jail. Straight to jail.
was talking to Brian Bethel, and the other was a red-headed, pale-skinned, freckled young man who stayed in the background.
Okay.
Like we do.
You know, he was probably just hot. He's wearing a hoodie in the middle of summer
Texas.
in Texas. God.
Oh,
Give
the
the kid
other
a break.
terrible thing about today was, since I was basically exhibiting symptoms of COVID when I went to the walk-in clinic, they made me stay in my car, except my car's air conditioning quit on me this weekend.
Oh no.
So I was just literally melting in there. I had to turn my car around so I wasn't in the sun. Because
Oh,
I
no.
really thought I was going to die.
Yeah.
I was like, can I please just come into the air?
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you.
It's fine, I'll just die. It's whatever.
Okay. Well, this quote-unquote spokesman, as I've come to think of him, told me that he and his companion needed a ride. They wanted to see a movie, Mortal Kombat, but they had left their money at their mother's house. Could I give them a ride? This could have happened like a month ago when Mortal Kombat came out.
Well, I was just gonna say, let's date this movie, but then I was like, wait, a new Mortal Kombat just came out.
Right? But yeah, so plausible enough. But all throughout this, I hate the way this guy writes. Okay, everything is its own sentence, which I know is how I write in text messages, but not how I would write for an article, okay?
Real quick, I just Googled Mortal Kombat, the original one. It came out in August of 1995.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so this happened in 1995. Why couldn't he do that? Why couldn't he do that?
Why couldn't he Google things?
God. Anyway.
Maybe time works different in Texas. And
Well, I don't know if Google was even a thing in 1996, to be perfectly honest, so...
I mean, not the way that it is right
No.
now, but
He still could
whatever.
have looked up when that movie came out.
Yes.
Why are we shredding this guy
sure.
so bad? Like,
yeah, you people are doing that.
I don't know. Me and Shannon are on one today.
I don't know. Just the way it's being presented is not good, I guess.
I've read his testimony before, so, like, I know where this is going, but you guys are just out of control.
I mean, I've read it before.
I've heard this before,
still.
just not, like, written out this way. Most of the time I've heard it, it's been, like, summarized, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going.
If you want to listen to a great, like, performance of this man's testimony, listen to Henry Zabrowski do it on, last podcast on the left. It's hilarious.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
He does, like, a voice for him, which...
I love that.
It's funny. Anyway.
I am not that talented or that committed, so...
It's like a dumb voice. It's, like, kind of rude.
Could I give them a ride? Plausible enough. No, where did it go? Okay. Sorry, I hit a button, apparently. But all throughout this exchange, the irrational fear continued and grew. I had no reason to be frightened of these two boys, but I was, terribly. After a bit more conversation, I looked up at the theater marquee and down at the digital clock display in my car. Mortal Kombat's last show of the night had already started. By the time I could have driven the boys anywhere and back, it would practically have been over.
Wait.
All the while, the spokesman uttered assurances. It wouldn't take long. They were just two little kids. They didn't have a gun or anything.
That does not make your case any better.
Okay, he can remember that, he knew Mortal Kombat, he knew when Mortal Kombat was showing, but he didn't know what time of year this took place in.
Oh my god, Shannon, get over it.
I can't. Anyway, he says, the last part was a bit unnerving. Yeah, if a child goes, yeah, I don't have a gun or anything.
Yeah,
if a 12-year-old boy says that to me in the middle of the night, I'm going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm driving away now.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Ugh. Anyway, so I noticed that my hand had strayed toward the lock on my door. I pulled it away, perhaps a bit too violently. In the short time I had broken the gaze of the spokesman, something had changed, and my mind exploded in a vortex of all-consuming terror. Both boys stared at me with coal-black eyes. The sort of eyes one sees these days on aliens and bargain basement vampires on late-night television. Soulless orbs like two great swaths of starless night.
Good lord.
Stop calling them suave.
Oh, God. I did what I feel any rational person would do. I full-on freaked out inside while trying to appear completely sane and calm. I apologized to the kids. I made whatever excuses came to mind, all of them designed to get me the hell out of there fast. The aura of fear was now a palpable, black-hanging thing, almost as if reality itself was warping around me. Sorry. Ugh. I wrapped my hand around the gear shift, threw the car into reverse, and began to roll up the window, apologizing all the while. My fear must have been evident. The boy in the back wore a look of confusion. The spokesman banged sharply on the window as I rolled it up. His words, full of anger, echo in my mind even today. We can't come in unless you tell us it's okay. Let us in.
Vampires.
I drove out of the park. Yeah, exactly. Like, they're straight up just vampires, okay?
I don't think the vampire thing works with cars. It's only homes.
Well, I don't know.
Well, have you invited a vampire to your car recently? How would you know?
I mean, traditionally.
I think it's any threshold, though.
I don't know. I thought it was only homes.
That, like, you own.
I thought it was only
because
homes.
cars didn't exist back in the days of vampires, so...
I know.
You know, let's ring up old Bram Stoker there and see what he has to say.
We've got to adapt to modern times.
Yeah. Get out the Ouija board.
Yep. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I drove out of the parking lot in blind fear, and I'm surprised I didn't sideswipe a car or two along the way. I stole a quick look in my rearview mirror before peeling out into the night. The boys were gone. Even if they had run, I don't believe there was any place they could have hidden from view that quickly. Oh my god, got a burp. Okay. Don't eat pizza rolls before recording. Fun fact. I write for a lot of reasons. I'd do it even if I didn't get paid to do so. So I wrote down the story of what had happened, more or less as a cathartic exercise, and shared it with a small group of friends on an email list. And that is where this story started, is with that email, essentially, that went around.
Okay.
So, and that's why, like, tracing it back, like, there are people who claim that they've seen them as early as, like, 1980 or whatever, but, and, like, on, well, that was not a real sentence, Shelby. But, like, on Creepypasta, their thing for, like, black-eyed children, it all originates with that email, which comes off as one of those, like, send this email to 10 people or your mom's gonna break her back or whatever nonsense. Yeah. You're gonna be cursed for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like for Jesus, scroll for hell.
Exactly.
Those are my favorite.
But yeah, so those are, that's kind of where it all started, is with that email that he sent out. And apparently he also couldn't trace that email to figure out what year it happened. So,
yeah.
Oh my God, drop it.
But yeah, so there's that. So if you want to go to slide 5, this is just another
this
black-eyed
is
child.
gross.
Okay, so this is a story from Lee Brickley, who is a paranormal investigator.
Sick.
And this is not, it's not like a full story because I couldn't find the full thing. I could just find these, like, disjointed comments that he had made. So it's just, like, 3 quotes I've got on here.
Sounds like a paranormal investigator.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. Just imagine this as if, like, Zach Bagel Bites is saying it, okay? Oh, that would require it to be way too dramatic, and I don't have the energy. So, on Saturday 13th... What? Why do people write like this? Okay, on Saturday the 13th of September, my wife and I were walking through Cannock Chase near to Style Cop with our dog. Style Cop is a place. I don't know. Whatever.
The Style Cop.
Yep.
I'm imagining it with a Y, not an I.
Oh, yeah. No, it's an I.
You get pulled over by Jonathan Van Ness.
No, it would be Tan France.
Right.
Because he's the style one.
It would be Tan France.
He's the style one.
No,
Although I feel like
Tan.
Jonathan Van Ness would be the one who would actually stop you and be like, this is not a gorgeous moment. We need to fix it. So
I would, out of all of them, I would want him to stop me because I feel like he's the most positive.
Yeah.
Person.
I'll give you that.
Character, but he's a real person.
Lee Brickley and his wife were walking their dog. Once we had entered the woodland and the road was no longer visible, we started to hear the giggling noise of a little girl.
Nope. Goodbye.
Nope.
I'm out.
Goodbye. Bye-bye. To our amazement, a child, no taller than 1 meter in height, appeared as if out of nowhere further up the path in front of us. We stopped dead in our tracks after noticing her eyes had no color. Her head was tilted to the side in much the same way it would appear if she had been hung. She stared at us for around 5 minutes before running away into a densely grouped area of trees. My wife wanted to follow her, but I was having none of it.
Divorce her. Divorce. That is cause for divorce. Means for divorce.
Your wife is straight up a white woman in a horror movie.
We have to
help her. But it's a child.
Her.
We have to help her.
No, she's on her own.
Nah, she's some dead girl in the woods who's giggling at you. Not here for it. Nope.
We're so caring and motherly. I love it.
I know. We're so great. We're awesome. This is why I quit my daycare job, because children. Yeah, so that's all that he wrote for, like, his own encounter. If you want to go to the next slide, he also wrote about this encounter, because he's a paranormal investigator, so he basically, like, had his, like, encounter with a black-eyed child and then went on to, like, investigate stories of them and stuff.
Like you do.
So, what?
Like you do.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do, but it's fine. So this is a story from a lady that he had spoken to. She used the pseudonym Mrs. Kelly because she wanted to remain anonymous. I think I made that past tense and then present tense. Okay, anyway. So this is Mrs. Kelly's tale, I suppose. Around 2 months ago, my daughter and I were walking through Birches Valley, an area well known for its spectral sightings, when we heard the screams of a young child. I couldn't tell if it was a boy or a girl, but they definitely seemed in distress and sounded very close to us, so we instantly started running towards the noise. We couldn't find the child anywhere, and so stopped to catch our breath. That's when I turned around and saw a girl who stood behind me, no more than 10 years old, with her hands over her eyes like she was waiting for a birthday cake. I asked if she was okay and if she had been the one screaming. She then put her arms down by her side and opened her eyes, which is when I saw that they were completely black, no iris, no white, nothing. I jumped back and grabbed my daughter. When I looked again, the child was gone. It was strange, really. I knew something was going to happen even before it did. I just had a weird feeling. And that's all to her story. This last one was Lee Brickley's aunt. So the paranormal investigator, this is his aunt's story. Aunt, whatever, however you say it. And this is like his retelling of her story. So, she stumbled upon a dirt track and caught sight of the 6 to 8-year-old girl running in the opposite direction, shouting, "Help, Mommy, help." By now it was getting dark, and the little girl had reached an area of very densely planted, thick and bushy trees. She turned around to face my aunt, looking her dead in the eyes, and then ran off into the dark, compact woodland. At this point, probably very wisely, the decision was made to give up.
That is such a passive sentence.
I know. I was just thinking that. What does that mean? I'm confused.
Was made.
I don't know.
To give up what?
The chase?
I guess.
Like, is it about the child?
Yeah, because there was nothing else on that story of, like, was she following, like, the screaming of this child? Was she trying to help this child? Like, I don't understand. Anyway, that's the last story that I really have, because there's others, but it was just like, oh yeah, I was walking down the street, looked in an alley, and saw a kid with black eyes. So, like, most of the others are just, like, random people on the internet or, like, on Reddit and stuff. They're, like, accounts of things. So it's not... I don't know. Black-eyed children are weird, and I know other podcasts have done, like, more thorough things on it, but there's really just not that much information on them. But, yeah.
Do you have any...
Can I share with you one theory that I've heard?
Yes.
So you know how they have to... so there was, like, another story of, someone who had an experience with them, and they came to their house again, and they were like, can we just come inside, let us in, blah, blah, blah. And, the person was like, no, you freaky little freaks cannot come in. And, they were like, well, we're just waiting for our parents. We're waiting for our parents. And they kept mentioning parents. And then... Yeah,
I was gonna say, I've heard that one, but I couldn't find it anywhere. But it's like they come up and, like, ring the doorbell, and they see them, like, in their little, like, doorbell thing. Mm-hmm. And the kids just are like, no, we're waiting for our parents. We're, like...
Well, then, like, a creepy home, black car comes and picks them up. And a lot of people think that these are, like, the children of the Men in Black. Like, that... cryptid thing.
Oh, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, that they're like the Men in Black offspring sort of deal, and they're like some kind of thing that they use to try to get into people's homes because they're more innocent looking.
Yeah, I had heard.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Hannah.
Oh, and just that they have other kinds of, like, telepathic powers because, what's his name said that his hand was on the lock. And other people said that they realized they would like snap out of almost like a trance because they were about to like open doors, or they were like unlocking things to let them in.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, I had heard, I mean, I say heard as if I like heard this on the street. I've heard it covered.
Well, I heard.
Yeah, I heard. I'm just trying to think, because I know they covered this on And That's Why We Drink a long time ago. Like, it was one of their earliest episodes.
Yeah, because I've heard theirs, but...
that one of the theories is with the Men in Black is that they're, like, not experiments necessarily, but that, yeah, they're, like, decoys, I guess.
Yeah, like something that they, like a tool that they use.
Yeah, a tool. That's a good word. Yeah, they're a tool to get into people's homes who they think need to be watched by the Men in Black.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I'd heard the maybe, like, telekinesis or even, like mind reading and stuff. Like, they kind of know, like, don't reach for the door, you know, like, stuff like that, where they're like, how did you know I was going to reach for the door? And it's just, like, shit like that, but...
Yeah, and also that they have, like, really weird behavior.
Yeah, super
like,
weird behavior.
One time, someone saw a kid and they were like, let us in, we're hungry. Or, like, the kid was like, please, I'm so hungry, I need ketchup for my apple.
Yeah, yeah, that was the... I think that Em mentioned that on their And That's Why We Drink episode, if I remember correctly. It's been a minute, but...
And... knowing, like, 13-year-olds, oh, that's my sister, I guess she's, like, 17 now, that is some shit that they would pull, though.
Yeah.
They would be like, please, they would, like, knock on the door, I need my random item for my even more random item.
It's that, like, LOL so random thing that was really popular in, like, the early-ish 2010s.
Well, it's still happening now, but just under the guise of something else.
Yeah, it's still definitely a thing. That was just what the first thing was that I thought of.
Right, that's the one we lived through.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, I think I found the one that you're talking about, but it doesn't have, like, a source or anything, and that's why I didn't put it in mine. Here, I'll read it to you.
That's the problem. A lot of these don't have sources.
Yeah, and...
source, some guy.
Yeah.
Right. This is from, tbsnews.net, Legends of Black-Eyed Children.
What? That's not
But
credible?
it just says... See, but the thing is it just says one of the stories goes like this.
Yeah.
In the snowy town, within the middle of nowhere of Vermont, an elderly couple heard the sound of 3 loud knocks on their door. So, like, no one knows who this elderly couple is. They don't know the town. They think it's in Vermont, but like,
it's just too vague.
So it's so vague that but yeah, anyway, so, they heard 3 loud knocks on their door. They opened the door and saw 2 children, a boy and a girl. Parents will be here soon. May we come in? The children did not make eye contact and just stood there in the doorway. The elderly couple were hesitant, but after a while they let the boy and girl inside. The kids settled on the couch while the wife made some hot cocoa and the husband asked them questions that went unanswered. The wife returned and noticed that her cat was scared and angry with the children. May we please use the restroom? The wife looked at the kids and she finally saw them. The children's eyes were as black as a starless universe. She directed them to the bathroom and returned to her husband, who was covering his face with his hand. Did you see their eyes? The husband then showed her his hand full of blood from a nosebleed. The power suddenly went out and the house turned as dark as the kids' eyes. The wife headed to the restroom and was confronted by the voice of the kids at the end of the hall uttering, "Our parents are here."
Gross.
The kids then exited the house, leaving the door wide open. The wife then noticed that there were 2 men at the end of the driveway. The men were very tall and slender. The wife waved but did not receive the same friendly gesture. The 2 men and children then drove away together in one car. The power then came back on a little later after the kids left. Throughout the next week, weird things happened in the house. 3 out of 4 cats went missing, and the 4th had been found dead in the pool of its own blood.
Oh my god!
Died. Okay. Trigger warning.
It's fine. You didn't know.
TBS News.
You didn't know. It's all good. Ugh.
The husband continued to have nosebleeds and finally went to the doctor, where he was diagnosed with very aggressive skin cancer.
Oh my god.
So, Yeah, like that's the story that I've heard in a lot of
Mm-hmm.
podcasts, but again, like there's no source whatsoever for it.
Yeah.
And most of the stories besides the ones that I gave you,
Don't have
there
any.
is really no source.
Yeah.
And so
I am remembering, though, the cancer thing. I feel like that happened in another story, too. Or maybe it was that same one that just got twisted. Somebody was fine, and then they showed up.
I know I've heard this story, but I know that there's also been ones where they didn't let them in the house. And like there's a cancer thing, and then there's there's lots of variations.
Too.
Yeah, there's other variations of like this exact story, but none of those have any sort of source.
Yeah.
So
I do
and they're all on, like Reddit or not. I mean, I guess this is TBS News, but I'm not sure I'd call that like a credible source for like an urban legend thing.
No. I do find it interesting that this story and one of the ones you read earlier that does have a source, they both compared the eyes to like a starless sky. That's interesting to me.
Sounds like copy pasting to me.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
Like, I think the other one was like a starless night sky, and this one was a starless universe, which is so much more dramatic. But I don't know if that's just, it is literally just people copy pasting, or if, I mean, assuming that this story is like accurate and this happened, which we can't really do because we don't have a source, I'm wondering if it's just another thing where like you see them and you just instinctively think of a starless sky or something. You know what I mean? I'm just wondering if it's another feature.
Well, and that might give way to why people think they're like aliens or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it like automatically makes them think of like, space or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a weird phrasing for both. Because honestly, my first thought isn't starless sky. My first thought is like coal, right? And so it's just, I don't, so it was just weird.
I guess we have to see it to make a
we'd have to see
description.
And then I think a lot of
to my help, just saying.
Right. I think a lot of people's idea of, because there's like different books on black-eyed kids, and they're just like paranormal books that people have written, and then there was a movie in 2015 called Black-Eyed Children, Let Me In. So, like, there are like stories and accounts of people meeting them, but again, nothing has a source. They're all just on like random websites where like people could write their own stuff, and then it's a lot of like someone being like, oh well, my aunt saw this, or like my grandpa told me a story of back in the day and he saw this, and it's
he's
like,
dead, so you can't question him.
And it's everything's like done anonymously and everything, so it's, I mean, yes, there are probably ways to organize it better than what I did, but like there really is not that much information because nothing can be traced. So it was actually quite difficult to do good research on it. Not gonna lie. But yeah, so that's really all I've got for you. They're spooky, they're creepy, they're one of those things that like have always freaked me out ever since I like first heard about them. Partially because I do occasionally get sleep paralysis, and so like when I have sleep paralysis, I have two different, I guess, like demons or whatever that I can see. There's the like typical like tall man one, and then I have another one that is a child.
Gross.
So I think in my mind they freak me out a little bit because of that. But also just children are creepy.
Children are very creepy.
They say the creepiest things. And like, I know we were talking about how like in some of the stories of the black-eyed kids, like they say like bizarre stuff, but like if you've ever been around children,
they say weird shit.
They say the weirdest shit. And so the fact that like, I don't know, I mean, there's a reason they use children in horror movies so much. It's because they're creepy, because it goes against your natural inclination to think of kids as like pure and innocent and like children. and to have them be a demon, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, if you ever see a black-eyed child, do not invite them into your house. They're probably a ghost, a demon, or a vampire, or an alien,
or the agent of an alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, or, they're just something.
Yeah. Just don't engage. Just run away.
They're probably gonna kill you. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, don't engage. Just run.
Yeah, just slam the door in their face.
Sprint away.
Be rude. It's cool. Yeah, because there's never anything about them, coming up to someone and being like, oh, I hurt myself, and can you help me, or anything like that. It's always just, can you let me in? I'm waiting for my parents, or
can you drive me to my house so I can get money to go to this movie that ended 3 hours ago?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also, we're alone in the middle of the night.
So they're not necessarily, appealing to sympathy. They're just trying to get in.
Yeah.
They're also so friggin' suspicious. If you're gonna be some kind of agent of another entity, try not to be so suspicious.
You'd think that they would have been able to create something that seemed more human.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Yes, I think that's their theme song that plays when they walk down the street.
Yeah.
Right? There's just these kids with black eyes walking down the street. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Do you have ketchup for my apple?
This store seems good. Yeah. Can you let me in? Here's some skin cancer. Bye.
My 2 dads are here. I must leave.
My 2 dads who
in
are
our
both
creepy
in
blacked out car
and black bowler hats, and we also knocked out your power. Sorry, bye.
Sorry about the skin cancer. G2G.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's all I've got. Sorry, it's not the best.
It's fine. I mean, you're trying to stick with stuff that we can actually verify to an extent, and there just isn't a whole lot that we can do on this. So.
And I don't know why I chose to do that way, because it's not like I verify any of my other information ever, so... But with this one in particular, I was like, no, I'm gonna find the stuff that has sources, and yeah.
You picked the one that has the least amount of actual sources to do
so. It's fine. But yeah, if you go to the Wikipedia page, it's 1 paragraph.
Yeah, that's not helpful.
So... Yeah, and it literally just is it's like an urban legend that started with Brian Bethel.
Cool.
In Texas.
Helpful there, guys.
And I guess he told his story on some reality TV show, Monsters and Mysteries in America, in 2012.
So I was trying to pull up the Wikipedia page, but Google autofilled Black Eyed Children movie on accident. The movie has a 2.5 stars out of 10 on IMDb. So apparently,
I need to see it.
It's not a good movie.
Movie night. We're gonna watch Village of the Damned and Black Eyed Children.
Yeah, you're right.
Please.
This is
I'm
literally a paragraph. You're not even And then half of it is about the movie.
Yeah, there's nothing on it. So
interesting.
And I even tried going into, because on the side it says there's part of a series on the paranormal, and I tried going to main articles, the skepticism, the parapsychology, and none of it was helpful to this. So yeah,
interesting.
Sounds like a Men in Black cover up to me.
Yeah,
but
could be.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah.
Sorry to our listeners. I don't know. I thought that was going to be better, and then as I'm sitting here presenting it, I'm sorry.
You gave us the actual story behind it. But
the origins of the story.
Yeah, you gave us the origins, but then all the encounters are basically the same. What were you going to do? Read the same thing 5 different ways?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, even with Nessie, there were different elements to each sighting. You know what I mean? But with this, it's just these kids creep me out. I may have gotten cancer, and they might be aliens. That's it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so.
You're right, you're right.
And
right. Anyway, don't pay your bills at 10 o'clock at night in Texas, apparently. Next to a movie theater, and if you see spooky children, run away.
Yep. That's just the rule always. If you see anything spooky, run away. Don't be a hero. You'll die. Just run.
Don't be a hero. Just die.
No, just run.
No,
I said just run.
It's one of the rules from Zombieland.
It's one of the. It's like
don't be a hero.
I think it's like rule number 1 is don't be a hero. Just run.
Right.
I'm too tired to know anything right now.
That's fair.
Okay.
All right, let's go. Set Hannah can go back to sleep.
Recuperate.
Yeah.
Yes. Dream of spooky children.
Yeah. No.
All right. Well, our ending is that we have no ending. Bye.
Bye. Shit. Thanks for listening to The Triad. Our music is by Scott Buckley. Our audio is recorded by our sound engineers, Craig Bott and Audrey Credo.
If you like the show, please rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, YouTube, and Tumblr as The Triad Podcast.
We're also on Patreon as The Triad. Currently, all Patreon funds will go towards the cost of hosting the show. Each tier has its own rewards, but every patron receives our undying gratitude. Do you have comments, questions, or stories? Email us at thetriadpod@gmail.com. And thank you again for listening to The Triad, where we're spooky but sensitive.